Dead by Daylight. This is a tabletop game being run with some friends. This game is called DeathGrind MegaStructure. It is part of the Together We Go system. It is written by, I want to make sure I get this name right, uh, DeathGrind MegaStructure, inspired by okay, Ostrich Monkey Games and Josh Hit, I think, is that, or Hitty is the correct pronunciation. It is a far future sci-fi game. I'm just going to read the intro blurb before we get started and introduce my players. The tower is a post-human megastructure. It was constructed by the architects a billion years ago, and it will last for a billion more. It stretches the entire length of a roaring galactic arm. The tower is under constant siege by the ever-ravenous fractal death machine, a malignant physodigital force that is violently converting all remnants of post-humanity into perfect final shapes as monstrous machine gods. The city enclave is a massive megapolis-sized cylindrical habitat that hurtles through the heart conduit of the tower. The city enclave races to escape the always hungry, always devouring fractal death machine, fleeing the destructive path of its sacred reformatting. For a million years, it has been racing through the tower on a collision course with the legendary Crown Apex, the summit that lies at the far end of the megastructure within the heart of a screaming black hole. Leaving the city enclave is dangerous and nearly always deadly. The layers of the tower are filled with a spiraling array of biomechanical creatures that will tear apart the unprepared. Deadly monitors, constantly roving extensions of the fractal death machine, comb the tower searching for anything that is yet to receive the blessed touch of the sacred reformatting. In the far depths of the tower, the far deep regions lie in wait. Something that even more ancient and more primordial than the fractal death machine. Far more mysterious, perhaps even predating the architects. DeathGrind Megastructure is a hyper-saturated, bright and harsh, yawning impossible spaces. Extreme dangerous verticality, scale measured in light years. It is a digital physical world where there is very little boundary between machine and flesh. It is a loud and whirling world, a violent but vibrant maelstrom of constant movement and strange evolution. Each new place is more bizarre than the last. If you let it, the tower will grind you up. And with that introduction, might I introduce Cade?
Hi, I'm Cade. Would you like me to do the character intro as well?
Yes, introduce yourself and your character.
Sure. My name's Cade. My character is a CM0920. They are a robot from from the tower with a very hefty focus on scrap work, repair, sort of piecing themselves together from all the parts that they can find. That's kind of all I got.
Okay, Silver, take us away.
Hello, my name is Silver, and my character's name is. mm, or Katang for short. Um, they,
I love it.
they are a living trash can. Um, they are a tiny metal trash can, little wheels, uh, beat up, spray painted monitor, uh, rusted claws for hands, and they are figuratively and literally a trash panda um, that liked to collect things and have many assumptions about the things they collect.
And finally, Whiff.
Hi, I'm Whiff. My character is Jeannie Splice, but you can call her Jeans for short. Jeannie is a descendant of the architects and was spliced with artificial recombinant DNA that is from neon gases, um, and it was part of the architects' bioluminescence projects. And so, if you see her, she kind of looks like her blood looks like the gases that run through a neon sign, and so it can be pretty helpful when she's trying to forage in the dark, but um, she usually wears a mask and a dark cloak um, to kind of not draw attention to the fact that she is a bit of a science experiment.
Okay, and to any fans of DeathGrind Megastructure, I have given my players extra format points right off the bat. I don't want them struggling too much. I want it to be an interesting story and not one where they are belabored by stats. So they had a little bit of a leg up. They each have 2 pieces of gear. Besides that, we are playing this as close to rules as written, with the narrative flair that does come with the system. With that being said, let's get rolling. Through the yawning expanse of space, the screaming of the city enclave as it roars through the tunnel can still be heard in the vacuum. It pulls so much with it, the tiny amounts of molecules whipping away produce a cry that can be heard for light years. And as it hurtles through, on its nihilistic goal of crashing into a black hole, the 3 of you walk out onto a neon-drenched street, having just dispatched 2 scavengers. You are there to answer a call. A call from one of the last organic humans in the tower. Ivan Foxwell has called, and as you all know, when Ivan calls, you answer. What is currently on your collective minds as you walk through this section of the tower? It is a very upscale, refined community.
The 2 scavengers that we just dispatched a minute ago, would it be possible to attempt record eater type stuff with that? Try to
Yes.
piece out any useful intelligence, perhaps with some help from the party?
Of course, if you would like to
Also
try to
weapons.
hack or gain any information or just record eat away, you are more than welcome to.
2 scavengers, 2 record eaters.
That's what I'm
Like a
saying.
match made in heaven.
Dinner for 2.
Dinner for
Trying to get
2.
into those records.
I will go over to the scavenger that had like the ship cannon kind of
Mhm.
get up, and I will use my record eater type ability to decrypt an important piece of intel from the remains of a hostile that we ritualistically consume. Oh boy.
Describe the ritualistic consumption.
Sure. So, CM0920 would walk over towards the scavenger on the ground, and using the antimatter hyper tool, they would take that off of their little utility belt and sort of begin trying to like. Are these scavengers robotic in nature, presumably?
Mostly. A few
Mostly.
organic bits here and there, but mostly robotic.
Okay, so avoiding the organic bits, whatever organic matter that might be, focusing on the robotics. Try to use that hyper tool to sort of cut into what might be a data center, and just sort of use like an uplink through the hand to kind of try to absorb that information.
The first thing you feel salt air kind of brush against your sensors on the outside of your body. And you hear the faint sound of sailors singing sea shanties. And as you sit there and process, and this is so outside your realm of reality, it would feel almost like a dream. You see a very detailed path that these scavengers took in the waves and the stars as day turns to night. And you realize that these 2 were essentially reformatted and programmed just to come kill anyone on their way to go see Ivan Foxwell.
Okay.
Okay. So
Whiff, describe how you consume as a record eater.
okay, so I watched Cade do that very careful work, and I take the head that I popped off of mine and I smash it against a rock until some like bits come out, and then I roll those bits around in my hand, and then I kind of like shoot them into my mouth like M&Ms.
How do they taste?
um, oily, like in a mechanical oil taste. Not bad.
As it goes down your throat, you're struck with the image of a long, dark conference table, still made of that natural wood. This is worth like multiple sections of the Enclave. Like, this is. Wars have been fought for less. And you can see the scav that you just consumed part of sitting there, dressed in nicer clothes than he had on at the moment, with a stack of credit chips being slided his way. And off of a rough count, you recognize it's enough to live multiple comfortable lives. Like, we're talking millions and millions of credits. And the job was simple: make sure Ivan Foxwell dies.
Ooh.
That was a wonderful waste of parts on your behalf there. Did you learn anything useful?
Me?
Yes, you.
It's not a waste if I'm not hungry anymore. And I also did learn. Did you? Uh, should I act like you didn't hear what Laird just said?
Yeah, that would have been entirely internal to your
Got
character.
it. Got it. Okay, so I have to tell you guys, or you
Yeah,
wouldn't know.
you would have to share and
Okay, so I share with my team that I'm both full now, and also that I saw um our attacker dressed nicely and receiving credit chips, being paid to basically put a hit on Ivan. So it doesn't seem like anyone forced them to do it. They were doing it on purpose.
you would.
GM question, Laird, real quick.
Yes,
So Whiff's scavenger was more of the sense of like they have to kill Ivan, whereas the scavenger I had absorbed was more so stopping anybody from getting to him. Is
it
that
was
correct?
making sure he dies. They could
Okay.
go about it how they wished. These two did choose to work together at the moment.
Okay, gotcha.
And you both would have seen the other scav in your memories and in what you saw. So y'all know they at least knew each other passingly. You would also know that it's about 3 more minutes to hit to Ivan's residence from where you currently are.
3 more minutes.
Yes, of walking. And at about that moment, all the lights in the enclave go red.
Oh boy.
And a voice comes over, and you know this is the voice of the head architect, the captain of the enclave. It is the 534,000th captain of the enclave. Attention, members of the enclave. We are approaching a tower wall. We are approaching a tower wall with a thickness rating of 2,000. Time to impact 22 soul. And
Well,
you would know 22 soul is about an hour.
does seem that we are on a bit of a time crunch, as it seems. And
Mm.
despite saying that, CMO 920 would absolutely be going over to the scavengers and using his like the hyper tool to sort of pick off any useful material and sort of stowing them away in their bag.
Roll me a d6.
Okay, there we go. That would be a wow one. How about that?
You get a few bits of biometric data, some cybernetics data. You can trade it, but it won't be worth a whole lot.
This is why we don't smash things.
Um, I would like to smash mine a little bit more and see if some more pieces come out.
Roll 1d6 minus 1.
What? D 6 minus 1. Oops, sorry, hold on.
It's okay.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Okay,
4.
you got a 4. You found, tucked away in its chassis compartment, there were 3 raw lumps of what appear to be some semi-processed platinum.
Ooh,
And you know there are some vendors in other parts of the enclave who will take those for a pretty penny.
I guess it does pay to smash things.
Feels like luck. We'll see next time.
Uh, Katang, as you are watching these two tear these poor scavs apart, what are you thinking about?
Uh, well, first off, happy clap for both. Um, then I'm just really thinking about um if there's anything with what we've been called, if there is a way I could get a new trinket or toy, because and then he's gonna be like, as he's waiting for them to finish their ritual, gonna be pulling out like a broken toaster, and then he has a spatula, and um he pulls out like a worn shoe, and just starts like tinkering with them, like, oh, this, and tries to put them in what they imagine people be.
While you're doing that, roll me a d20. As you sit there doing this, a fragment of the fractal death machine lands itself across one of your processors. And the world itself falls away, and you notice about 50 feet in front of you are a very ornate pair of chopsticks. And they're just sitting, resting against the curb, completely untouched, with no one else around to get in the way between you and your new toy.
Yes.
I do have to say, given the recent announcement from the captain, we might be on a bit of a time crunch, and regretfully, I don't have the parts to repair the damage we might sustain. We should probably get moving.
Yeah.
You hear a loud old human's voice. You're darn right, you better hurry.
I agree with the disembodied voice.
I turn around and say, "Who dat?"
You can see a very old man with wrinkled skin, eyes drooping, somewhat glassy, few wisp of white hair, and at this distance you're convinced they might be fibers from like a fiber optic line sticking off his head, and he's wagging a organic wood cane out the window down at the like other end of this habitat section, just yelling at you.
Based on the memories we got from the scavengers, would we be able to identify this person at all?
Yes, this is Ivan Foxwell.
Oh, you know such good questions to ask.
I play a lot
So,
of TTRPGs.
I'm very curious about why Ivan's here when we're 3 minutes away from his home.
No, he's yelling from a very long distance away.
Oh,
But
he's like 3 minutes away.
yeah, because the tower is so many hard surfaces, sound travel, like, it has echoed its way to you, but with your collectively digitally and augmented eyes, you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Are the chopsticks in the direction towards Ivan?
It's more like if you're all facing, let's say, north, he is south, and the chopsticks are within like a 2-second walk to the west. So you're not going like out of your way any significant amount to pick them up.
Okay, I'm gonna just wheel over and grab them.
As you put them in, everyone around thinks they faintly hear like the Zelda item pickup noise
You hear happy clanking.
and some happy clinks. So we're gonna kind of just jump to when y'all get to Ivan's residence.
Sounds good.
As you find yourselves inside, a very helpful little hovering automata lets you in. Introduces himself as F1, F1, F1 repeating. He is very respectful. He guides you in and settles you down around the furniture of the room. There's a couch, 3 chairs, and Ivan's in the bed. It's kind of laid out, with a few little nursing drones taking care of him. I used a lot of what I had left to yell at y'all. Old habits die hard. Do you know how old I am?
With enough parts, it doesn't necessarily matter. I have some laying around if you want me to take a look.
I'm human. I plan to stay that way.
I guess 18.
I'm roughly 836,000 years old.
What?
Well past end of life for a human. Are you sure you don't want me to take a look?
I'm good. Are you a doctor, model?
Something of the sort. And he sort of just like would like they would slowly like reach down and sort of reholster the hyper tool that they were sort of slowly taking out at the time.
I need a cell stabilization matrix. Fortunately, the chance to acquire one is coming when the next layer is hit. As you know, the Enclave will slow nearly to a stop to get through this layer. When it does so, you are to go out into the tower, into a section known as the Graveyard of the Heretics, and find a cell stabilization matrix and bring it back.
I ask what's in it for us, and why we have to do what he tells us to.
Rejecting a job from me is not good for one's continued existence, but also, if you desire material things, I will give you access to the conduit, which lets you communicate with the machine and the minds of the architects in the terminal directly.
As a descendant of the architects, I want that.
I will also provide this, and he pulls out of his robe that he's wearing a large key with thousands of fractalized prongs coming out in different directions. As he pulls it out, it just seems to keep getting bigger and bigger. This is a master override key of the forge. You tell it you want something. You put this in, you get what you want.
Whoa.
There have been 10 of these in the history of the Enclave. I have 3.
Why have you not used one to seek what you desire?
They cannot replicate organic matter.
Is the cell stabilization unit organic?
It creates organic matter, so it needs an organic substrate,
Understood.
which is why it is where you are going. It's called the Graveyard of the Heretics, for when the tower was constructed, a band of humans rebelled. A small splinter of them still exists within the tower, known as the Children of Soul. More augmented these days, but still the same people. They rebelled against the creation of the tower and the creation of the Enclave, and the architects put them down. But rather than kill them, they're trapped out there serving some unknown purpose to this day. This happened before I was born. But I'm aware of the stories. I guess he would be my older brother, is supposed to be out there somewhere.
What's your brother's name?
Charlie Foxwell.
Do you think Charlie is alive?
Alive is a strong word.
0920 would just sort of look Ivan up and down as though they were concurring with the statement, ironically.
But does he exist in some fashion? I am but to guess. But you'll be finding out very soon. He reaches over to his table, and you can hear the sound of the very brittle bones in his ribs cracking as he turns.
Ugh.
He pulls out a slender key card and hands it. Who does he hand it to?
I'll take it.
Yeah, Kate can have it.
As the key lands in your hand, you take this to the eastern wall. Tell them we'd like passage into the tower. They will give you a high-quality slug shuttle that'll help you survive impact into the tower. And it will also guarantee re-entry even if the section moves by the time you come back. Once you're back inside, it will also grant you access to the light rail, moving up and down the length of the Enclave if you end up farther down or up.
While you guys are talking to Ivan, I'm slowly shimmying into like his more bedroom area to see if I can steal things from him.
As you approach, one of the little doctor drones has been hovering around, just turns with, "Back away from the patient. Back away from the patient." And it comes towards you, and it's about the size of a large grapefruit with an LCD screen on it.
Okay.
And it gets up to you, and it just shows a big red X.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Can I try and hack it in a way that doesn't hurt it, but that it lets me through?
You are welcome to try.
Okay.
That would be 1d20 plus your, let's say, plus shadow.
Okay.
Is
plus
there any kind of like assistant mechanic in this game?
Not rules is written, but if you would like to help, you can add half of your shadow roll or bonus, rounded to the nearest whole number.
Okay, I was just going to propose my own side thing as an assistance, to sort of try to reformat the vital code of the nurse bot to maybe make it a little bit more amicable.
Okay,
with
yeah, you
people.
can go for that. If you'd like to do that, I'll let it add a +1 to the final result of the roll.
So
Sure.
should I roll?
So roll your 1d20 plus shadow, and then we're gonna add 1 to its result.
Okay, my shadow is 1 as well.
Okay. Okay.
So
You successfully
18.
recode it with a little bit of work. What do you make it do?
I just make it. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna send it in to find the most valuable things for our journey.
It comes back with a little clear plastic rectangle with a piece of cardboard inside the middle of it, or some kind of organic paper-like material.
Okay.
You don't think you've ever seen this before, but as you turn it over, there's a picture of a small yellow, almost rodent-like creature on it.
Oh my God, is this a Pokemon card?
As you roughly try to get through it, that is about what you come to. And you were aware that millions and millions of years ago, this was popular and well loved.
Okay, I slip it in my back pocket next to the nuts and bolts that I stole from those guys.
Just like, howdy, Black and Voodoo. You have been flung to the far future of the City Enclave in a TTRPG we are running on stream.
Hi, Jacob.
Um, is Ivan still in his bed? Or...
Yes, he is still in his bed, and as he's turned back after handing you all that card, he is coughing up blood.
Oh, I'm gonna wheel myself and like do a little clink, go into myself, rummage a little bit, and I'm going to pull out an old sock and hand it to him.
He looks at it, looks at you, looks at the sock, looks at you. You see him take in a deep breath and sigh, and he accepts the sock and warmly nods.
Oh, that's sweet.
And you can see him like kind of palm it down the sleeve as he pulls out a tissue to wipe the blood away with.
I heard I heard these things are used on your body, right? So you're supposed to mouth.
Mm. You're so close, Katango. You know what? If y'all come back from this, I've got a human history video I can show you.
Ooh.
And I've got something else I can give just you, Katang, that you might appreciate.
I am so endeared by how sweet Ivan turns out to be that I slip something in place of the card that I took, and it's um, I don't know what it is. I just found it when I was rummaging, but it says Derek Jeter playing card. And I just slide that in the place of the thing I took.
As he rummages, you hear him cough again and see a little fine mist of blood. He pulls out an immersion stick blender. He goes, "My grandmother used this to make the most wonderful cakes back in the day. And it'll be yours if you come back with the cell stabilization matrix." He does a dramatic show of like tapping it on like what would be the shoulders of the trash can. "I knight thee, the royal Katang."
This feels slightly unfair, Ivan.
I get
Oh,
it.
I have something for you as well. If you return, this is yours, and he dangles a portable hard drive.
Hmm.
An old school, like 2000s era portable hard drive. It's a small data mass. I know you're used to working in exabytes, but the data here might still prove interesting.
We shall see once we return.
I
So
don't
now,
ask for anything from him because I recognize I've already stolen.
now you see the red lights go green. And are any of you holding on to anything?
Uh,
Like
like,
structurally? Like couch, chair,
I would not
wall?
have been, no.
no, my hands are behind my back.
Roll
Like
1d20 minus 1.
1D.
Is that everybody?
Yes, all three of you.
5.
Oh no!
Katang, you rattle around a bit, but stay upright. You two, you find your posteriors on the floor quickly.
Baba Booey.
Well, the wall's been reached. And you hear an error code screech through the enclave. Boarded wall, time to penetrate increased. Please be patient, passengers. Ivan looks at you. Now, go, please.
We can do it. We can do what he says. We should depart.
Yeah, I get the sense that Kate is our kind of de facto leader, so I will let you make the choice. What we do
Oh,
next.
so do y'all find yourselves going straight to where he told you to find a shuttle, or are you gonna go elsewhere first?
He said the eastern wall, where
Hmm.
the card that he gave us would get us like transit basically.
Yes.
I'm of the opinion we should probably just get going, but
Is there
I'm open to
any
suggestions.
is there any kind of trading depots or bazaar type places that we
There
can
are, but access to them is not guaranteed. You are going to have to kind of wander to get there.
Okay. Do we
So
have
how I will briefly mechanically explain how it works. You tell me what kind of unit of the tower you want. So you want a place where you can sell, which is within a habitat usually. You will then roll a d6. And depending on what you roll, depends on where you end up. So going across a unit to like the wall where you're headed doesn't require a roll. To sell, you would have to find yourself in a different unit.
do we have any extra time? Like, are we in a time crunch to get there immediately, or do you think
You're
we
on
can
a
get there?
currently you're on a pretty heavy time crunch.
All right, I think we should just go straight there.
Yeah.
We have the card. We have our mission. Let's depart.
We have
At,
the Pokemon card.
as you get there, a large robotic arm strapped to the ceiling with two large energy cannons strapped to both sides and a very human face mounted between them. Next. You three. What do you want?
The card that was given to me, I sort of just like retrieve it from my belongings and just wordlessly present it to the person.
I am Unit H311.
CM0920. Requesting transit, please.
That is a that is a fractal level clearance card.
I am aware. Can you fulfill the request?
Yes. 37th hallway to the left. Go down 600 units. Make the next right. Go down 42 floors.
Understood. And I sort of just immediately turn and begin walking in that direction with no further questions.
Smile uncomfortably at them and follow you.
As you'll make a few steps, you hear access denied and the sound of his guns lighting up on another poor unsuspecting soul who did not have the correct paperwork.
Oh.
0920 does not pay that any mind. Very
Oh,
straightforward.
I rubberneck a little bit and listen in on what's going on.
He tried to slip into the tower with counterfeit paperwork, and he was turned into a fine techno-blue mist.
Oh no.
As y'all go, you see people have like increasing levels of armor and weapons and security. Groups of bioengineered soldiers are running past in the hundreds, getting into drop pods where there's barely room to breathe and ejected out into the tower. But you start to notice something as you get closer, that none of their shuttles have made it to the tower. You see a rare sight of a large window, and you notice that there is a, lack of a better word, a tendril swatting them away.
So essentially, like our destination is being sort of guarded, so to speak, by this tendril that we see.
Yes, but you notice that access card is glowing.
Is there anything in the surrounding area that might, like, sort of like clairvoyant spell from Skyrim might be glowing? Any sort of obvious "this belongs here" kind of thing?
You are starting to feel it like it's drawn to the tower itself. Because you know that arm swatting things away is part of the tower. If you were to analogize the tower to a person, that tendril represents a white blood cell.
Oh, so we're invading bodies.
And that card is representing an immunosuppressant.
Got it.
Hmm. So
And to give a little bit of flavor to where y'all have been, if you were to go to the image archive channel, this is what the area leading up to that security section looked like as y'all started to kind of head in.
okay.
Just to give a bit of flavor. And when you look out the window, you see, copy image, the shapes upon shapes that bend and warp in strange and impossible ways. But after a couple more minutes of moseying, you find yourself in the correct access corridor in a large, brutish, think power loader from the Aliens movie with like one of those Robo Sapien toys strapped to the control section. If y'all ever saw those, and it kind of gently loads y'all in and just grabs the shuttle and chucks it at the tower.
The tendrils do that?
No, this large robot just throws you at the tower.
Okay. Have we gotten to the tendrils yet?
You are
Or
passing them now, and they
okay.
come down towards the pod, but then as the card glows brighter, they back away.
Cade, will you move the card around and see how the tendrils react to its location?
Sure. So 0920 sort of stands up and paces a bit, moves the cart around
As
as
you
best with as much mobility as he could.
Yeah, as you move, you notice that it's just they're avoiding the pod. Like, the pod has the card, therefore the pod will not be touched.
Okay, so we don't have to stick too close to the card as long as it's
Corrected.
within the pod. Okay.
And you notice it's going deeper than a pod into the tower would normally go. Y'all have taken your fair share of cheap shuttles and stuff. You know, normally they land right at that edge. Y'all have been going for a few thousand miles. And it glides to the ground and stops. And the neon drenched and strange you saw before was gone. You've traveled so far that color ceases to be a real concept. Things are grays and blacks and like little pinpricks of light. The architecture is kind of switched from brutalist, or from the absurdity before, to this strange, harsh, brutalist lines and columns. You now find yourselves in the graveyard of the heretics.
Oh, you're fast.
AKA the back rooms.
Katang is gonna grab his emotional support toaster.
This place doesn't feel yellow enough.
Is the card still glowing with any discernible hue, or is that sort of desaturated as
It
well?
is desaturated as well. You've noticed your clothes themselves have lost color. Anything you were wearing or anything on your bodies is now also desaturated.
Peculiar.
And as you step out, you'll notice there's no air. But do you need oxygen?
I most certainly do not know.
I need oxygen. I'm mostly a stable inert gas.
So it's more of just a kind of notice anything, for the enclave is still filled with oxygen. But here it is silent. Nothing to breathe, nothing to see. Just a infinite corridor with hallways to the left and right. But you all feel like you're being watched.
So I have something.
Mhm.
It's one of my weapons, but it's a like a clone pod. So I assume I can use it to kind of throw my image to make it seem like I'm somewhere I'm not.
To a large extent, yes. Describe how it looks.
So it kind of looks like a hamster ball, but it's a mechanical device, and when I toss it, it can roll, but once it reaches its destination, it flats out like a plate, and then it has a hologram project from outside of it that looks just like me.
Hmm.
And I would like to roll it on the floor to move my projection somewhere else to see if I can see the shift of others' focus and suss out maybe who's looking at us.
Roll me a d20. Just one d20.
11.
As it rolls out, something snatches it away for a moment. It moves faster than you can perceive. And I imagine you all have eyes and sensors capable of thousands of frames a second recognition.
At least one.
But it was still there for an instant.
Okay.
And you feel a little weight in your back, like against your back, and the ball is returned.
Oh, like
Hmm.
a loop.
Almost. But as y'all ponder this, something that could best be described as a Commodore 64 PC on an old school trolley comes rolling down the corridor towards you. Like, you know the like little hand carts they would use for overhead projectors in school?
Yeah.
Picture one of those with a Commodore 64 PC strapped to it, with a small nuclear reactor running at the bottom to power the whole affair.
Is there anything
Image
on the
is
screen?
physical.
It's just a blank terminal.
Interesting.
And it rolls up to about 5 feet away and then stops.
I'm gonna wave.
I'm going to approach pretty haphazardly, not really no concern behind it, sort of just walking. I approach the terminal, search for any sign of like active computing going on.
As Katang waves, its front wheels wiggle back and forth.
Oh,
And you can see the terminals just blinking. Black screen with a single white pixel going in and out about every second and a half.
Is there any like buttons on it to interact with it?
There is a full galactic standard keyboard of 362 keys.
Okay. I use the galactic up key.
Are you trying to see the previous command?
Yes.
It outputs thousands of lines of text. It begins to explain the true nature of the fractal death machine, and it is Make sure I get the correct stat for this.
That's never a good sentence to hear.
Roll 1d20 plus your Delver.
Me?
Yes. Anyone else who is looking at the screen.
Okay, everybody.
Okay, anybody looking at the screen?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Ugh.
Delver, right?
Yes.
It's pretty
Hmm.
easy for me because mine are all 1.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, Jesus.
So, Genie and I apologize for still struggling with names. CM0920.
Mhm.
As you both stare at this, your visual sensors are transfixed as the data scrolls faster and faster and faster to the top of this command structure. And you are beginning to mentally see the tower in its infinitesimal layers and the organization between and how one can move between layers without punching through. And when it stops, you just feel so much smaller. You're just you again. For a moment, you felt like you possessed the full knowledge of the architects. But now you're just you. How does that make y'all feel?
Curious more than anything at the possibilities.
And as you try to grasp that knowledge again and access it, you notice it fleets further and further into your head.
But it's still in there somewhere?
Yes, but accessing it seems impossible.
Is it possible to try and hack into our own brain?
At current time, not without great risk to personal safety.
Skip it.
But now on the terminal resides the singular word, hello.
Could I use my fragment interface ability to safely connect with this terminal?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to do that just to kind of see what happens.
When you use this, what does your interface look like?
I believe I would most likely sort of use the same like hand that I used earlier to interface with the scavenger that I had record eaten. Sort of has like this amalgamation of wires, various different ports, and all that sort of tucked away into the arm, so to speak. So I sort of just place my hand on top of the terminal computer, like the monitor box itself, and just allow those tendrils to sort of connect where possible to try to interface with the terminal.
You notice you're struggling to find something that connects to this piece of technology, but the side of the terminal kind of fractalizes and opens, and a port compatible with your interface pops out.
Okay, I'll with whatever compatible plug I have, I'll plug in.
You hear deep in the recess of your mind the voice of a small child. Hi, I'm Frankie.
Hello, Frankie.
Is it Frankie? Ask Frankie's last name.
But only Kate's character can hear this. Only CM
Okay, I can't
0920.
hear.
Yeah, it's deep within his own mind.
So I'll be replying sort of within my character's
Mhm.
mind as well,
You're
just
not
for
gonna
the
tell
time
us what's
being.
going on?
I will. We'll
Yeah.
get
Okay,
there.
I'll wait.
But so currently, if you look at him, his eyes are just glazed with binary.
Okay.
So in this sort of like very like what's the word I'm looking for? Like transfixed state, I'll just communicate mentally with the terminal. Just hello, Frankie. Where am I?
You're in the graveyard of the heretics.
Why are you here?
I'm a warning.
A warning of what?
36,295,000,000 visitors have come to the graveyard. One has left.
Who is the visitor that left?
Unknown.
Does that seem to be like actual genuine recollection of fact?
Fear. Your gut
Fear.
instinct is he is scared to say who.
Okay. So I'll with that in mind, just Frankie, who escaped the graveyard.
Unknown.
With this uplink, would there be a way for me to sort of, unbeknownst to the terminal as best I can tell, use my Trojan ability to sort of disguise myself within the terminal and search for the answer while I keep him busy with conversation?
Yes, I'll let you do that. Roll plus your profit.
So, D20 plus profit?
Yes.
Oh, finally a good roll. That's decent. That's decent. 16.
Pass. Like mechanically, I was just saying that, but narratively, if your Trojan finds its way in your smooth conversation distracts it for a moment, you find the name Ivan Foxley.
Foxley?
Sorry, I had to set my notes up for a second. Ivan Foxwell.
You're good. I just wanted to make
Yes,
sure it
thank you,
was
Ivan
yeah,
Foxwell.
intentionally the same character. So as I sort of discover this information and begin like rescinding the Trojan code, I will I'll speak to Frankie and just tell him, well, we were sent by a man named Ivan. Do you know him?
No, what's Ivan sending people here for? No.
So you do know Ivan.
Yes, Ivan.
Is he who escaped Frankie?
Yep. Yes. He killed so many to leave.
Did he kill anybody that you know or knew?
Everyone.
Why?
He needed a source of power that would allow him to warp space-time to catch back up to the tower. Or back up to the Enclave to re-enter.
So effectively, he was like left behind in this area and needed to return home, essentially.
Yes, and he also went back in time to right after he was left here, so no one recognized him.
If possible, I would like to communicate this information out loud to the party while still maintaining the uplink.
You can pass it along. It's very kind of extra monotone and dry, but it's spoken. He was one of the heretics. He had to leave a living person behind, but he killed many to fuel his process of escape.
Who was left behind?
His brother.
Charlie.
I'm Charlie's son. My mom's out here somewhere too, but he uploaded me when I started to get sick. I drank the coolant.
Can you help us find them?
I haven't been that way in a long time, but when you find the sea of coolant, there will be a boat. Here is the key to that boat. And you feel a cold piece of metal enter your hand. And then he pulls up a video explaining what a boat is.
I'm enthralled.
Yeah, it plays on the screen, so you can both see it. It is it has the boat. It is an old school like fishing boat, like the kind you would see up and down the New England coast, like fishing and stuff.
Right.
It is rickety. In these videos, it is rickety, and these videos are millions of years old.
We take the boat. Where does it lead?
There is an island in the middle of the lake of coolant, upon which sits a domicile. Within the domicile should be Charlie.
Oh.
But be
Would
careful.
you like?
The children of Soul are here.
Would you like to come with us, or will you be staying here?
I can't. If I try to leave this section, I come back here. He leaves me here to protect everyone else. And then in a bit more chipper voice, Please sign the following waiver. About 40 minutes of printing occurs as a large pile of paper appears in front of you. Once the waiver is signed, please place it in the accept tray.
I sort of look to the other two accompanying me.
So there's definitely no way we can get Charlie to come with us.
No, Charlie, as he tries to explain, he is stuck in a state of quantum lock.
Got it. So I would like to, before we leave, download a video game onto Charlie for him to play while we're gone, once we leave.
He sits there just spinning in circles of happiness because that is the first thing he's had to do in a few million years.
Poor sweet Charlie.
Katang was just gonna go and give, like, through all the paperwork, give him a little hug, like, on the little the wheelie things. So it's like that, and then he's also gonna fish around, and he's gonna pull out one of his prized possessions, as a old metal slinky.
As you set it down on the keyboard, he makes the spacebar depress and pop up so it tumbles back down on top of your head.
Oh, I'm gonna miss Frankie.
Before I sever the connection we have tethered, I would just like to offer, like, Frankie, is there anything you need from me before I depart?
He sends you a very graphic image of a disemboweled Ivan.
Oh God.
That is what
I
I need.
understand. And I sever the connection with nothing said other than I understand.
As you sever the connection, the document signs with your digital signature and files, and the walls slide to the left and right in infinitesimal distance. And a solid metal door with the word cemetery on it appears about 150 yards ahead.
And this is generally along the way towards the lake of coolant, from what I've learned.
There is nothing else you can see except for blackness in this door, so you presume it is the correct
Okay.
way to go.
Okay. Can I please throw one of my small 3 lumps of semi-processed metal to make sure the path is safe and nothing weird will happen to us?
You can see now that there is nothing that can interact with you. What happened before, Frankie explains the protective subroutine to keep him safe.
Understood. Okay. I say let's go ahead and head to that door.
I agree.
As you approach,
carry on.
you hear the faint sound of humans talking. Kind of just dritherless office chatter.
I'm gonna wheel faster.
You hear performance reports and review and like KPIs and
No.
interviews. The noise seems to be attached to the door itself.
Based on what I might have picked up over the years as like a sort of fly on the wall program in like the maintenance floors of the tower, would I have any inkling of an idea as to whether or not these human voices seem recorded, projected from an actual like human? Any information to ascertain that direction?
You would know enough to know this is what's called a quantum anomaly. It is a real moment in time that is bound to the physicality of that door. It is essentially the sounds that door heard as time went on. And now as it exists in a place outside the standard assumptions of time and space, the door just shares what it used to hear.
Would I recognize anything we heard from the memories of the conference table that I saw from one of our scavengers?
No, this is just the driest, most boring. Like, imagine the conversations that occurred in an IRS office in like the late 80s, outside of tax season. Like, picture that, and that's about how this sounds.
Got it.
So knowing that it is, you said a quantum. What was the word you used?
A
Anomaly?
quantum anomaly.
Okay, so with like knowing that it is a quantum anomaly, what would I know about those as like a subject area?
That they're in most cases harmless.
Okay.
It is just for some reason the door that the tower decided to use to block off where you are to where you are going. But to your ability to tell, it is unlocked.
Okay, I'll turn to the party and just say, as far as I'm aware, the door has decided to display this to us, but we can carry on unimpeded. And I'll just try to step through the door.
As you do, the door doesn't open to the left or to the right as you would expect, it falls forward. And as you step through the frame, it becomes the only thing to stand on for miles around. You find yourself in a chasm with a sound. Everyone roll a d20.
Any modifiers?
No.
15.
Dang. Oh no.
Still
So-
holding my toaster.
Oh no.
Oh, Katang.
So,
It's scary in here. I'm
see, you very distinctly can tell it is the sound of waves of coolant splashing against something. And you can tell it's coming from the, by current orientation, direction of down.
Okay.
But as you look out in front of you, into the vast nothingness, the tower itself wants to let you know how big it is, and does so with this.
Well, that's pretty.
Wow.
And you can tell that you could stand here for 1,000,000 years and watch as time passes on, and you would not be in. Because you can tell, like, time and space is moving towards you within the span of the tower, but you would not be an inch closer to that symbol in the distance.
I would encourage you not to be distracted by flights of fancy. We have a job to do. And I'll turn
Yeah.
away from the symbol
The
and start looking around the rest of the chasm.
Yes.
It is black, onyx black, just flat walls. Your options appear to be to fall.
Um,
Can I drop something and see where it goes?
Yes, you can drop something. What would you like to drop?
I would like to drop one of my 3 small lumps of semi-processed metal.
What feels like an eternity passes, and you hear the faintest splish.
Oh.
I'm going to take my hyper tool out of my off of my belt and sort of like light it up to try to emit some level of like plasma generated light essentially. I would imagine that we probably don't see anything, but just in case, I'll sort of shine
Yeah.
it around and see if we can see anything.
It still appears to be an endless chasm.
Well, it does appear that there is one way off of this platform, and I just sort of gesture downward.
I ask if maybe we could explore some other options first.
As you look behind you, what was once that brutalist hallway and section where Frankie was is now an old red brick wall.
A red brick wall.
Yeah, in what would be the door frame, there is no way back.
Okay. Is
I'll,
the red brick wall interactable?
As you touch it, you can tell it's a red brick wall.
I'll step up to the wall, and with my hyper tool, I'm sort of gonna try to like Phantom Menace this thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Crack into it with the hyper tool and see if I can maybe cut through the brick.
As you try to cut, you notice your tool just kind of splays out around instead of piercing through. And you would know it should normally be able to cut through this material.
I would like to look up and see how high up the wall goes.
to your ability to tell to infinity.
And beyond.
And below as well.
To the faint crashing sounds of coolant below.
Would it be possible?
As you
to
sit
try
there, as you'll ponder, a figure starts to appear just a few yards away from the end of the door. It appears to have an old CRT monitor for a head, wearing a white Victorian style sleeping gown.
Okay.
Oh, that's freaky, dude.
I like it. Can
It-
it talk?
As it looks at you, it goes, "Have you heard of a leap of faith?"
Yes, and then I step off the platform.
No. Okay. I get inside of Katang and we roll off together.
Cozy.
Did you ask for consent first? Jesus.
Yes. Oh no. Yes. This is something we do. But I'm gonna say, hey,
Katang,
are
do you
you
agree to
are
this?
you okay with that?
I'll say sure, and then I'll grab it's one of my um
This is no
weapons.
longer safe for YouTube.
Um,
No, I can't. That was just so unexpected.
I just want to be safe.
Oh, that's what it's called. I'll grab. It's technically one of my gear. It's my polarized tech cloak, which was really picturing as one of those thermal blankets you get for
Mhm.
emergencies and stuff. I'm just gonna wrap it around myself.
So
Or now both of us. So we're both.
now I'm ultra insulated.
Yes,
Perfect.
we're both ultra insulated.
Meanwhile, I'm just falling.
And you
Yeah.
keep falling.
And
You
now I
you
guess we'll both
fall
go.
so long the direction of down feels to lose meaning.
We're
You
right behind you.
you start to accept this is your life, but you will not fall faster. You fall at a fixed rate, so he had a 40-second head start. The 40-second head start on eternity from his ability to tell. And you fall and you fall. What's going through your mind as you fall? Anyone?
Can I move in any direction, or am I just
You are
frozen?
bound by the limits of Katang's comfort.
Can Katang roll in
Katang's
either
comfort.
direction? I pop my head out of the top of Katang to see what's going on.
You just see blackness rolling by and hear the crinkle of a Mylar security blanket.
Can you please close it? I don't want to lose
Yep,
my toaster.
you
Yeah,
got
but
it.
as
I
you pull it
slam
back
the lid
down,
shut.
the toaster kind of bumps you on your knee, and as you look around, you see a toaster. You see a little mound of processor units labeled Katang.
Oh. I I keep that in my back pocket for later.
You
Just the
they
knowledge.
okay, but you can't remove them. They are
I
firmly
would
attached
never.
to the wall of Katang.
No.
No, I just
Yeah.
keep that information in my back
Friends
pocket.
don't lobotomize friends.
No.
Or I guess it
Not
would be
Katang is
unless they
dead.
act
robotomize.
out of pocket.
Bottom.
Robotomize.
Nice.
And when you do it to a friend, it's a bromotomize.
Yeah. For now I leave
And
them be.
with the rate at which we're falling, it's a slow bottomize.
I am the one who puns.
Hey-oh!
Yeah, there's a lot of trinkets in there. So there's my toaster,
You
and
you
there's
find a 2003 era of Reader's Digest.
yeah, there's a lot of fun things in there.
So I'm actually not that upset that we're falling for eternity because I really had been meaning to catch up on that issue. So I'm just kind of reading through that.
Pair of fuzzy dice are just hanging. But eventually, even though you fell at separate times, feeling somewhat simultaneous, you kind of land on what feels kind of soft at first. As you look around, it is It is coolant that is cooled so much it is no longer liquid, but it is somewhat solid,
Okay.
and it cushioned your blow. Those who are in it, so that would be Katang and CM, because Genie, you are inside Katang,
Yes.
so Katang is cushioning
Correct.
you from this. I'm going to need y'all to give me a D20 plus Delver.
I knew using my friends as a human shield would be the right answer. Sorry, robot shield.
8.
You said 8?
That is correct.
8.
Why is he laughing? Oh god, why is he laughing?
17.
Wow! Oh my gosh.
Sam, you feel the coolant starting to solidify your joints,
Mm.
and you have to pull yourself out by your hands.
I would like to, in an effort to aid my predicament here, I would take my hyper tool and sort of try to melt the coolant around my joints. Turn on like a lower setting, try to dial it in a little bit, you know?
As you do so, it helps a little bit, but this stuff is like just above absolute zero.
Can I try and reach out and
Yes, you can, but give me a D20 plus Delver. And I'm going to attach a -1 as well, because you are trying to reach out of Katang while Katang is, like,
okay.
trudging
Well,
through
no.
coolant.
I'm not getting out.
No, but
of
you're trying to
Katang.
reach out to take care
Yes,
of.
yes,
So,
yes.
like,
Got
in the
it.
process of
So,
reaching, you might slip.
okay, so I have a +1, so I'm just gonna not add anything.
Yeah, it's a +1, -1, so it does result in a net 0.
Yes. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Shoot. Shoot.
You tump forward, kind
No.
of kicking a loose banana peel out of Katang,
No. I should have been some
and
selfless.
it slips and lands back on top of Katang's lid.
I'm sorry, Katang.
And you are
Can we-
now head first, waist deep in coolant.
Oh.
This seems
Can we see the boat anywhere?
Not yet. There's a thick
Okay.
layer of mist and frost where you currently are.
Okay, interesting. Given that you said that Jeans is face like head in the coolant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will, with whatever is left in my creaky old joints at this point, sort of try to take one or two labored steps over and just begin trying to remove
Yeah.
from the coolant.
When she came out, I was going to, and now it's face plant the coolant. I'm gonna try to, with my stubby claws, just yoink up.
Okay, essentially, one of you is going to roll plus Delver at advantage. So roll twice, take the higher result between Katang and CM.
That would be all you, Katang.
Okay. Okay. That's 1d20.
You can also roll 2d20 at the same time to make it easier on you.
Okay, so roll
smart.
basically like 2d20 and then
Yeah, just pick the
And
higher
then take-
result, yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. 11.
Okay,
Man.
you do successfully free, but in the process, you raise the monitor level by 1.
The monitor level.
Yes, that is how sensitive the fractal death machine is to your activities within the tower. When the monitor level fills, it will come for its blessed reformatting.
Do we know what the fill number is?
No, but you are aware the world seems a bit more colorful in spots. Now, we'll say mechanically, as players, y'all know it is normally 6. In this case, I have raised it a little bit to an unspecified number higher.
Okay.
Both in the name of giving y'all some buffer room
Mm-hmm.
and telling a more interesting story, where it's not just a run against a fractal death machine the whole time.
Got it. So right now we're at level 1.
Yes, you're at level 1.
Okay, and it's some unspecified number above 6, in which it's kind of like game over for us.
Not so much game over as it turns into a game of Temple Run.
Just
Got it,
uh-oh.
got it, got it. Okay.
Are we still freezing in this coolant?
You'll have extracted yourselves to a bit of a rocky outcropping,
Okay.
which you recognize be layers upon layers of silica computer chips that have washed up from this lake of coolant and built up as a bit of a beach.
I'll pocket a few of the chips. Just at random, sort of just grabbing.
Okay, you get a few little bits here and there.
Along with the mound, is there any other types of scrap around?
There is the upper torso of a robot unit, very similar to what CM is made of.
Okay. Can I go scrounging?
As you approach, it goes, back up,
Oh.
back.
Can I try?
I'm gonna get you.
I must insist on you calming down, please.
I am the herald of the broken blades. I calm for no one. Your death is assured.
Anybody?
Can we do anything where we like uplink up into his brain and try and find out things about him?
As a matter of fact, yes, I can.
Would you like to interface with him?
I'll step up. So you said it was just a torso, right?
Yes, torso, arms, and head, like nothing below the waist.
Any weapons or anything?
You can tell there's scabbards, but they have long since been empty. Little digital spiders and mites flow out of them onto the floor as you get closer.
So I'll step up towards the robots, and on my right arm I will sort of extend my monofilament blade,
Mhm.
and I'll just step up and look towards the robot. We are one of the same kind. We can do this pleasantly, or the other option.
Do you fight with the broken blades?
I'm afraid I have no allegiances.
Then we are nothing alike, scoundrel.
Suit yourself. And I'll walk behind the robot and just place my hand on the back of its head and start like tendriling in wherever I can.
He screams in agony, and you feel a strange connection of self as you interface. Very much looking in a mirror.
Okay.
And
I'll
this next part I'm going to send to you over message.
Ooh, the whispers.
Whispers.
Careful with DMs. Just
Yep, that's why I'm using my phone.
gotcha. Just in case you tabbed over there, I wanted to remind you.
Yep. I'm actually gonna delete that, so that's not a risk on stream in just a second.
Understand.
This goes on. I'm hiding behind Katang because I find it unpleasant to watch this.
Would I come to that realization with any sort of like expediency?
Yes. Many of the things stored away are identical, and you are able to come to that conclusion somewhat quickly.
Okay. So as I'm sort of interfacing with this robot, bearing this knowledge in mind, I'll just sort of ask like, Broken Blade, please identify your model number.
0290 hyphenated MC.
I'll remove my interface and sort of just stand up, not saying much about that. I'll leave it up to you guys with that one.
He just sits there hurling obscenities and fuel and hatred at y'all for your mere existence upon his beach.
I say, damn, what did you just do? What'd you do to him? Why is he so upset?
I read his memory, or my memory.
Oh. Oh. You want to talk about it?
I'm unsure. The the timestamps don't align with our existence. It appears he is from another time or place, or I do not know. But he is me.
Um,
Can I
you think
go
it'd be
ahead?
better just to get him to stop screaming?
Is he still screaming?
Yes, he is screaming in rage.
Oh, I offer him my Pokemon card.
He he shakes his head and just keeps screaming, ripping off chassis panels to throw at you.
Okay, I put
I'm gonna
the card back in my pocket.
the
I
panels that he throws. I'm gonna grab some and just first.
as I stand behind him, I would like to try and reformat his vital code in a way that could potentially calm him without cloning myself onto his drives more so than we already are.
Go for it. Roll plus. Yeah, roll plus profit virus.
Jesus.
Can I try to
Dice, please.
can I try to do it as
No,
well
in
since
this
I
case, no, because he's trying to essentially edit a mirror, and it's in the difficulty struggle, and you now find yourself with a song stuck in your head. What song is stuck in your head?
Hmm. Given the locale and because it was thematically appropriate earlier, I'd imagine it's like a sea shanty for some reason. It just feels right.
there once was a ship that went to sea.
A better sea shanty.
It's Bones in the Ocean. If you're familiar with that one, by Longest Johns, you find that playing in your head.
Yes.
If you're not familiar, after stream, I have something to fix.
Only 0920's head, right?
Yes, only in his he's hearing a repetition of that song just softly in the background. And to give you an idea of where y'all are on a coolant lake that looks about like this.
Mm.
And y'all are in that kind of lighter blue section that kind of juts inland a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And a few yards down the coast lies an old fishing boat.
Um, before we depart from this robot that's on the floor here, would it all be possible for me to like can I record eater myself, but not actually me the legless version?
Yes, you can record eater the clone of yourself.
Okay. So I'll pull out my hyper tool still behind him and begin cracking into the skull, so to speak.
What are you doing?
Um
What? Stop.
and as
Stop.
as I'm doing this, I sort of just say I bid farewell to the port and the land, and I paddle away from brave England's white sands to search my long ago forgotten friends, to search for the place I hear all sailors end. Then I'll just take the memory out of his head.
As you consume it, you feel strange, like you've broken a taboo, even within your own people and groups. And you feel different. Because you have now consumed yourself, raise one of your formats by one that you had a point in prior to this moment.
Oh, you lucky son of a gun. Can I look
Cool.
around to see if I'm around as well
You
for
don't
eating?
you don't see yourself in the vicinity.
Ah! Okay. That's fine.
That's just format points, nothing else, no type hits, anything like that, just format.
Nope, just a format point.
Alrighty, just checking. I will do that really quickly if you guys would like to.
While
As-
you're doing that, I would like to just look around the area where that robot was for any other things of interest.
You find his legs about 20 yards away,
Nice.
sticking up out of the coolant. And if you look down into it, the waste is in the mouth of what can best be described as a squid made of robots and data.
Ooh. Can I record eat the squid?
You would have to first get the squid out of the coolant, make sure it's dead. If it's not dead, rectify that fact, then go for it.
What a nice way to say kill that thing.
It feels worth it.
It'll take you about 30 minutes to excavate with your hands the area around the squid.
Could I Can I get it out faster if I use one of my tools?
What tool do you have that you think could help you, and how could it help you?
I'm scrolling. I have a monofilament charged blade, which I could use to pry it out. Actually, what if I just cut its head off and don't even try and get the whole thing out?
You would have to get enough of the cool. Like, it is. This thing is massive. Like, I'm not talking, octopus at the aquarium. I'm talking, like, giant squid made of data and parts.
Could I possibly just take its eye?
You are welcome to try. That would be a 1d20. And it's going to be technically plus your fragment, but you're also at a -5.
I'll do a -4. Oh, I mean, is it?
Wrong channel, but we will still roll with this. That is
Sorry.
no. But that's an 11.
Sorry.
No. Nothing to apologize for, just notifying, not reprimanding.
Got it.
But with the 11, you've finagled your blade in and cut past some of the coolant. And as your blade nicks its eye, it blinks.
Okay. I bail.
Everyone
And-
roll a d6.
Uh-oh.
For you now fight the Leviathan.
I'm so sorry.
Jeans, what did you anger?
I just wanted the eye.
Okay, all three of you get to go before the behemoth, thankfully. So who would like to go first?
I feel like I should because I made the mistake.
Okay, what would you like to do?
I would like to stab it.
Okay.
Classic.
Yeah. Roll me 1d20 plus your fragment.
Okay. 13.
Okay. That unfortunately is not enough to hit it.
Oh no.
So as your blade comes up, you swing down, and it's like the blade dematerializes out of existence for an instant, reappearing as it's passed safely out of harm's reach. Who would you like to go next?
Katang,
Mhm.
would you like to fix my mistakes?
They're good. This whole situation is very confusing to them. But okay. I guess they're gonna just wheel over there, and they're going to pull out their old forgotten backup and just kind of try to hit it.
Okay. Give me your roll plus your fragment.
Okay. Du-du-du-du-du.
You just find yourself transfixed by the coolant lake. You never successfully getting the attack started.
I mean, the lake's very pretty, so makes sense.
And because you lack options, it does pass now to CM.
How far into the coolant lake is this Leviathan
It
creature?
is rapidly pulling itself out. And
Okay.
you've now seen it swallow the rest of the lower half of your body.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
It has now swallowed the rest of the lower half of the other version of you's body.
I see. Game system question. What exactly is a space point defined as, or is there not really one?
A space point is just any give. Let me see. You are referencing. I just want to make sure I'm following. I started speaking to Mike. I just will double check. Space point is referenced in
Prophet Virus ability blip.
blip. Instantaneously jump. Yeah, pick a spot you can see. You can go there.
Okay, like full body teleport.
Yeah,
basically.
you will teleport to that point, and I will say anyone you are touching will go as well.
Might I suggest a new course of action to solve this problem? We should run, and I'll try to grab onto both Katang and Jeans, and I'll look towards the boat and try to blip us over there.
Okay. Give me a 1d20.
Plus profit or no?
Nope, just 1d20.
I am sweating. Roll for your life.
This has to be like the one. Come on, just come on. Okay, the 2, not the 1. I cannot roll dice tonight. Wow.
You grab them and you feel space-time fold around yourselves, glowing through the neon that is the FDM, a fractal death machine. And you find yourselves going about 6 inches forward.
Hey, 6 inches. Yay.
The trash can has wheels, and this is as far as we got.
What if the momentum of both of our bodies on Katang starts wheeling us violently away from this mistake?
Why do I gotta
Maybe
start
next
one?
round.
And now it passes to the Leviathan.
Oh, good.
It is going to attack. It is going to attack Jeans.
You know, yeah,
Makes sense.
You
I
did
get it.
sabotage, so.
I need you to roll me
Yeah.
1d20 plus your shadow.
Okay. Come on, jeans. Jesus.
You get hit, and I'm so sorry.
Oh God.
It does 4 damage.
Oh God. I don't know if I want that to happen. Oh, so I am clinging to 1 hit of life.
Yep.
But I'm not dead.
The fact these things do static damage hurts so much.
Okay.
And it bellows, I was at peace.
I'm getting the sense I messed up here.
Perhaps a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
We'll fix it. Maybe.
It passes the turn to Katang.
Okay. Can I put can I put Jean in
Hi.
me again?
Yes.
And grab CM and just start wheeling towards
Yeah.
the boat.
You can motor.
Not gonna make that joke. That one was too easy.
Give me a d20 plus. Let's make it a d20 plus Delver.
Okay.
Because this is survival.
I was about to say this falls under the survive category.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Success. You successfully get your friends to the boat.
Silver, do you have like Dice Made in Premium or something, and we just don't know about it?
No.
Oh my God.
And as you get on the boat starts on its own. and drops into the lake and just puts away. The Leviathan getting up to its full height, around a kilometer tall. And it stands on its tentacles. Like, imagine a squid standing on its tentacles, walking into the coolant lake to start chasing after you. But you notice there are 2 large cannons strapped to the back of the boat. You swear they weren't there last time you looked.
Upon further analysis, I believe we have a new plan. Shall we?
And, Katang, who would you like to pass the turn to?
I'll pass it to CM.
Okay. 0920 is going to step up to one of the cannons and yeah, is the cannon like loaded? It's like a fully functional like
As you
projectile
approach them,
weapon.
they are like Gatling guns.
Ah, I see. Okay.
And
You know,
they have a central command console, so when you attack, it is going to be 2d20 plus your fragment.
okay. Would there be a way for me to potentially using my profit abilities and my hacking and whatnot, could I, since there is a central command, would there be a way for me to like automate these to where they're just shooting, or no?
No, but I'll do you a mid ground.
Okay.
You can supercharge them
Okay.
to where they will get a substantial bonus to hit, and they will both do an extra point of damage.
Okay. I will rather than actually attacking this turn, I'll spend my turn trying to do that just for the benefit of the team moving forward then.
Okay, so roll me 1d20 plus your profit.
Finally, something went
As
nice.
you align the code to your will and bend it and break it for your benefit, these cannons come to life and they begin to match the kind of electrical patterns of you, and they're under your control. You can now attack with these cannons using your profit virus.
Awesome.
And in fact, the ship itself is now fully an extension of you, and it wills you to fire now, take an extra turn.
Say less. I
Feel
will
less
I will use this sort of mental uplink that I've established to begin firing the cannons at the Leviathan.
Okay, 2d20 plus profit virus.
That is a 10 and a 7.
Okay, so you're going to do 4 damage.
Heck yeah.
Which I need to specify, a regular weapon does 1.
Wayo.
Ew.
How many
So-
damage we need to do on this guy?
You don't quite know, but you notice that the top portion of, like, the dome where its head would be, you know how a squid's body is shaped? That top portion falls into the sea, creating a wave that you now ride.
If it just to end my turn, I'll look towards the head sort of sliding off a little bit, like the top portion of it sliding off. Well, if it bleeds, it dies. Shall we? And I'll conclude my turn.
Okay, and your turn will be passed to Jean because only person who hasn't gone yet.
Yes.
Jean,
Okay.
you are worse for wear. You lost a limb. What limb did you lose?
Son of a hell! I don't. I guess arm.
Which arm?
Left arm.
Your left arm, where it used to be, is now just empty air. But the nanites like the nanites of the air and the chemicals in your body do kind of cauterize the wound, stopping it from getting worse.
Okay. Cool.
There's snacks in there if you need it.
As
is
if
there
on
any way-
cue, like a singular pizza roll kind of drifts past your like eye line. Inside Katang.
Ding.
All right, I pop that bad boy in my mouth, and it gives me the fighting spirit to carry on. Is there any way for me to grab that arm, or is it gone?
It's within the belly of the beast.
This guy's been nothing but a thorn in my side.
I mean, you did try to steal his eye.
Yeah, says the
Yeah.
person
Did
that
I
tried to
manage?
steal his eye.
Did I manage to get any of the eye though?
There's like a little bit of eye gunk on the end of your blade, but not enough to really count.
Priorities,
Not
baby.
not enough to record eat.
Nope, not enough to record eat. You would need like
Well,
a chunk of this guy's mini brain processing units.
I'll be sure to put that one in a vial and chalk it down as a win. So let's see. Instead of attacking it, is there any way I can maybe just try and make the boat go faster?
Yes, I will let you make the boat go faster on a successful profit virus roll.
Profit virus roll. So it's a 1d20.
Well, no, let's say either that or Shadow Relic, your choice.
They're both 1.
But I know your one's all around, so I'm like, I know it doesn't matter, but I will give you the option.
Okay, but is it a 1d20 still?
Yes, 1d20.
Okay, cool. Please. Does this do anything for you?
Siam, you feel a coolness to your body. You are starting to be aware of the fact that, like, your sensory network is now attached to a boat going through almost absolute zero coolant. That is all that was successfully accomplished there. And now the Leviathan goes.
Uh-oh.
The Leviathan lunges forward, and it swipes at the boat. Katang, roll me 1d20 plus your shadow. Okay.
14?
I've seen worse numbers.
Its tentacle swipes mere inches from your lid. And as it kind of hits part of the boat, Sam, you feel a gut punch. It doesn't actually cause you pain, but you feel it. And it's most unpleasant. Speaking of things that are unpleasant, it's now your turn.
Dang.
it's Katang's turn, or are you saying it's my turn?
It is being passed to CM.
Oh, I
Okay.
was gonna say.
Okay. Well, it's kind of hard to argue with the results from last time. I did give it a little bit of a haircut, a little off the top. Big guns go pew pew. Let's try that one again.
Okay. Go for it. Same roll as last time.
Same roll? Okay. Aha.
Numbers.
How do you do this?
So as the boat sort of begins to cool, and I can feel it, like in my sensory network and whatnot, looking around towards the party around me, I sort of set my sights on the Kraken and begin to spool up these Gatling-esque guns, looking towards it, and I just call out for seemingly no reason to anybody else, just when their bones in the ocean forever will be, and then I just start shooting and just like Swiss cheese it up a little bit.
It turns into a mist of lubricants, coolants, and cryofluids. A few larger processing units do fall on the deck, and you hear the song fade out of your mind a little bit. It's still there, but it's much quieter. The boat also violently says, "Let go of me, you fool!"
Ah, my apologies, and I'll rescind control.
Ugh, gosh, it's like wearing someone else's skin. Ugh.
Tell me about it.
Tell
Is
me.
everybody all right?
I am B0AT.
CM0920. Thank you for your assistance.
Which one of you idiots woke the Leviathan?
Oh.
Immediately looks at jeans. Doesn't point, just looks.
I'll
I
open my lid. So
I do point. I do point at 0920.
Interesting.
Falsehood
I'll-
detected.
I will
I'll
remember
point
this.
after my lid.
No. I'm not done. But before finishing the points, I circle my finger back to me.
Ah,
Hmm.
yes. And it looks like you took quite the beating for it.
I ain't got no arm.
I got some spares down in the hold. Go look.
Allow
What's up,
me.
fam?
I'll take that as an invitation for myself, and I'll head down to the hold and begin scrounging around because that's sort of my area of expertise.
There are plenty of arms, none that would correctly match like Jean's current body. Like there's a giant lobster claw.
No, I don't want that.
I
There's a boombox on the end of a 2-point articulated arm.
Oh my god.
Given 0920's propensity to value like sustaining himself over much anything else, I will look for the most similar in form factor, but with zero regard for anything aside from functionality. And then they'll grab that.
Please.
Uh,
No.
the best thing you find is after a bit of looking. Give me a D20, just a D20.
Hey,
Hey.
natural 20.
You find a fairly mechanical, like cogs and gears mechanical, but faithfully correctly scaled to Jean's current body. Like, and there's a nice little bioport, so the attachment's easy.
I'll
Cool.
return to the deck of the ship with that arm in hand.
Okay.
You have a
found
good
this.
friend. BOAT says, or B0AT says, you have a good friend. If it was me, you would have got the lobster claw.
The thought crossed my mind for the false accusations.
I circled back.
Would you like the arm or no?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Hold still. And I'll 0920 will just spend the next little bit of time hyper tooling, sort of affixing this arm
And
where once was.
You're gonna take your time, right?
Yeah, I'll take my I'll do it properly.
Yeah,
This is like my thing,
I'm not even making you roll for it. You just succeed because you're
I
gonna take your
appreciate it.
time, be patient. And there's no urgency right now. So as you'll find yourselves kind of drifting closer and closer across the lake, a sight starts to take hold. There's a cabin, like a log cabin in the middle of this lake.
Whoa.
That's trippy.
Yeah.
I know I put it in the wrong channel, evening out with Sarah earlier.
Thank you. I know you didn't even mean to do that. It was just to make me feel better.
Yes, but this cabin is there, and there's an old man sitting on the porch, smoking a pipe. Visitors? I haven't had visitors in ages. Come aboard, come ashore. Welcome. B0, you staying for a drink? And at this, you hear a rumbling from the bridge, and a tiny little black box with wheels pops out.
That's adorable.
A drink? Got anything I can stomach? Pardon the misbiology, but But as they're chatting, as you get closer, everyone give me a D20.
Ah, the duality of man. Nat 20 into Nat 1.
20, but you show is gonna get a 1 right after, so.
All three of you are kind of transfixed. The same spooky CRT-headed person from earlier is off in the distance, and on their monitor is just a big red X.
Hmm. When you say transfixed, do we still have like our faculties about us, or are we very like
You still have
silent
your
about-
faculties, but they have, like, for the moment, this is the most interesting thing you've seen all day. And I think that's pretty impressive at this point.
The red X, do not approach the patient.
But as the boat grinds against the shore a little bit, you're invited off by Charlie Foxwell.
I will. I'll be the last to depart the boat. As
It's
we step up.
fun.
So you're here, and I'm not dead yet. So I presume my loving brother sent you for the cell stabilization matrix.
That is correct.
Did he tell you what we do out here, me and the other heretics who are still slumbering?
I don't give an answer.
Come inside and let me show you.
Sort of look to the other two. Do you guys want to go in?
You know, I don't got much to lose at this point.
I mean, you got like
I got
3
my
more
other arm,
limbs
but
at
yeah, I was gonna say I got a few
least.
more. Just curious, is there anything I can do to build up my hit points again?
Oh, there are things, and they might come around later.
Okay, got it. I think we should just go in there.
After you.
Okay, I go first.
We go in, and it's a very modest, like, hunting cabin with a grand staircase in the middle going down. And he goes down that staircase, and as he goes down and winds down the floor, you start to see you've gone under the coolant lake on this little island. And there's glass walls showing thousands of people that you would assume to be the heretics in little bitty pods with wires connected to them.
Is this inside of the cabin or in the coolant lake?
Under the cabin, and they are floating in the coolant lake. He has like
Okay.
windows you can see out into
Gotcha.
it.
That was the clarification
Yeah.
I needed. Thank
And
you.
they're about 20 feet below the surface, and they go for miles in every direction.
Mm.
You see, when the architects were building the tower, they ran out of processing power. They wanted to do biological computing, and I said no. My brother, however, was offered good money per person he put out here. The exchange, he was kept here as well. He didn't like staying, so he went on a warpath. He killed multiple architects. And y'all would know that is a feat. Architects don't just die. That is very much akin to waking up and saying, I want to go kill God.
I'll turn towards Charlie and just very robotically with little care for human social norms. Charlie, why is Frankie so afraid of him?
He killed his mother. Almost killed me, left me with this. He pulls down the white shirt he's wearing, and you can see that all the skin on his upper torso has been removed. Been replaced with clear plexiglass.
Is there human organs beneath?
Yep.
Oh.
He needed enough biological material that wasn't his to fool the monitors to get back on board.
Can I have a quick group huddle with my teammates before we continue talking to this guy?
Yes.
Okay. We huddle up and I say, okay, I can't remember why we trusted the guy who sent us in the first place because it sounds like he might be a jerk. Thoughts?
Trust is a strong word. He offered us things in exchange for services. That was the extent of our relationship.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Money. Right. Right. Right.
Why would
Katang,
it? I really wanted that beater.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. The beater. The beater. The beater.
And he promised videos.
Okay, but is he ultimately like kind of a bad guy? Maybe we shouldn't be helping him.
I
I'm
mean,
afraid I have no concept of what you refer to. Do
Uh,
you insinuate we should double cross our employer?
Katang? Thoughts?
I mean, I am just a trash can. I kind of just get dumped with people's problems.
Okay. Good. Good thoughts. Good thoughts. Okay. Okay, let's break and hear what else he has to say.
I apologize for hearing your discussion, but I can make this real easy for you. You can kill me and take the stabilization matrix, and I'll make it real easy. You don't even have to attack me. I will connect to the chair upstairs. You push the big red button on that wall. All of us die. Every heretic dies.
Or
Or you get back at my brother the best way we can. I go up there. You, you collectively upload us to this. He pulls out a data crystal. It's about the size of the palm of your hand. You know it can store about 90 exabytes of data. You store us in this, you take it back in, you upload it to the mainframe of the Enclave. Still get the cell stabilization matrix, but we can make his life a living hell. So do you want him happy with you, or do you want him mad? Either way, you can take the cell stabilization matrix.
so we've learned, just to recap, that we've learned that Ivan killed multiple architects down here, essentially.
Yes,
Including his mom.
he killed architects, he killed family, people he cared
Okay.
about, lots of other cultists and heretics.
And the architects being behind the the tower essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Um what would be the generally accepted public opinion for like the layman, like somebody like 0920 for example?
No one would believe it could be done without some proof.
Sorry,
Believe killing.
rather about the architect specifically.
Oh,
Like how would it be most likely that a character would align with them?
venerated.
Okay. So effectively the universe is God's.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they're the ones who made the things to keep us safe from the fractal death machine, right?
Speaking of that, you all feel the hair on the back of your neck stand up a little bit. Even if there's no biological hair, you get that sensation. The monitor level rises by 1.
I look towards Charlie expecting some kind of reaction.
Oh no, the FDM and I are good friends. Doesn't like y'all though.
How?
Friends?
Oh, he's passed this way before. We've had our chit chat. Nice guy. Where's up?
How do you mourn the architects while you commune with the fractal death machine?
They're two sides of the same coin. He broke the balance.
Can you stop it?
No, it can't stop. That's like asking a light to stop. That's like asking air to stop propagating sound particles.
That's like asking Ivan to kill an architect.
Essentially. If I didn't see it, I understand. But wait. You interface, correct?
Yes.
I've seen that before. It's been a while. Here. Pulls back his hair, revealing a data port on the back of his neck. One of the only augments I ever took.
I'll step forward and do it. Yeah.
You see through his eyes a much younger Ivan, wielding a polearm with a monofilament blade on one end and a long whip on the other. He is jumping off of a robed figure you know to be an architect, slamming the blade down on another, slicing them in twain, and flicks out the other end where the whip grabs around another one and pulling it back, splitting them again in twain. And he's wearing a brown coat and cloak, and he runs and runs, just slaughtering them as he goes. He is a one-man war. The machines and swarms of nanobots they send against him, he bats away with a wave. The faint sparkle that you would recognize as being the fractal death machine trickling off his fingers, causing the bots to spark out. He grabs an architect by the throat, glares at it, and you watch the architect's eyes glow blue, then white, then all colors of the rainbow, and colors that cannot be perceived by human eyes as they luminesce and turn into pillars of light as that architect undergoes the sacred reformatting.
So the Ivan reformatted an architect.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Well, that complicates things a little bit, doesn't it? I'll share that information with the party.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what to do.
I will stop interfacing with Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, racking the memory that I absorbed from my alternate timeline self. Do I find anything of use in terms of either information correlating to that memory I just had from Charlie, or specifically the graveyard of the heretics? Any information about that might have been seen by that robot
In
as it laid on the shore?
in his timeline, the graveyard of heretics he came from was much more active. It was more of a penal colony of sorts. But there was a strung up Ivan connected to a machine that led back to the Enclave. And it provided a protective barrier from the fractal death machine where it could wash over the Enclave and affect no one.
So in that universe, Ivan was seemingly like a martyr, kind of.
He was captured, and whatever connection to the FDM he had was abused to protect everyone else.
I see. Okay.
Ivan's connection, but his brother's also like connected. He's
To
friends with
to an
him.
extent as well, but not to the same result.
Okay. So maybe his brother is not really trustworthy because they are kind of using him as like a
After talking about it, you realize neither party, like, the kind of conclusion you realize is they're both bad. Neither one of them's a saint, but neither one of them's a monster. They've done what they've needed to do to survive and take care of themselves. But it is up to y'all to render judgment. Does everyone here die? Or do they come back, in a manner of speaking, and Ivan dies?
Charlie, what is your desired outcome of having the people here uploaded?
They stop suffering.
How?
They're awake in those pods. They're not aging. They're awake. They're in incalculable pain.
I sort of just stare out the window, looking towards the pods, thinking to myself, the song sort of creeping back in, thinking about that the one line, when at last before my ghostly shipmates I stand. I shed a small tear for my home upon land. No tears come out or anything. Just sort of processing. Not saying anything.
As if they can hear, you hear them singing that same line in your own mind. The voices of the people in the pods. As the pods eerily turn to face you. Charlie goes, they do that. It's just part of their sensory, sensory allowance routine.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
It's Ivan who made Frankie have to stay in that like limbo forever, right?
Charlie put him there to protect him.
Oh, Charlie did, not Ivan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was getting sick, I believe.
Yeah, and the options was that or conversion by the fractal death machine.
Okay, so Charlie protected Frankie.
Yes.
All right, I think we should kill Ivan's got to go.
I'm not sure what I want, but I don't think it's this. I agree. We'll kill him.
Okay.
Okay, I'll...
On 3 for Frankie. 1, 2, 3.
Dang.
Yeah, could do like a quiet clank.
Charlie nods and he holds up a finger. He disappears upstairs and comes back with the bones of a chicken. You can tell that he's been eating recently. And he deposits the chicken carcass into Katang.
He dumped the chicken bones in the trash can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a trash can.
Well,
So, he steps away with the data crystal, goes, I've put it in the upload port, and he shows y'all where that is. You can take the cell stabilization matrix, and when we're done uploading, you can take the data crystal back to the enclave and upload it. Once uploaded, we will take care of Ivan.
Does Ivan have to suffer?
Look at those people out there and tell me he doesn't deserve it.
I will kill him. I will not play party to any sort of revenge fantasy like that.
Will you at least let us experience it with you?
As best as we can.
Charlie paces for a second. Give me a moment. He modifies the data acceptance port to where you can carry the data crystal in you and they can essentially spectator view.
Right.
He's asked it when you're done to upload them into one of the terminals of the enclave so they can be back amongst, as he puts it, their people again.
So we kill Ivan, then we upload. Okay.
He goes and you hear the kind of grunt as he connects to a chair. You just hear farewell. And then the lights in the cabin go out and the coolant goes dark.
I'll pull out my hyper tool and try to give us a little bit of light to see with.
After about
Assuming we can't see it in the dark.
a minute 45, you pretty much all your lights, your eyes turn into like little spotlights so you can still see.
Yeah.
Yeah, my whole body is a neon.
Yeah, about to say.
Yeah,
Jean
sure.
also glows, so like.
Yeah.
That's a good point. No, that's a good one.
I can see fine.
So after about a minute 45, the crystal puck, data crystal, just glows. And as any of you pick it up to hold it, you can hear their collective voices thanking you.
Before we go, I'd like to put my Pokemon card on Charlie's body.
As you go to look at him, the same figure with the TV head appears, sitting in front of the fireplace upstairs. next to the data chair upon which Charlie's body lays.
Mhm.
And on its screen is a thumbs up emoji.
Interesting.
I sense we should be on our way now.
It nods, and it goes and opens the door for you. And all of you give me a d20 roll.
Oh, come on.
Oh no!
The second one tonight.
Reroll, Cade. Reroll. Like, that is...
That's my second one in a row.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying reroll, because that's just not fun.
Just like
10. You know what? We'll split the difference. I will take it. Thank you, GM, for the mercy.
You're collectively starting to put together that might be an architect.
Oh.
Interesting.
Very cool.
And you've noticed the coolant lake has somewhat emptied itself. In the time it took you all to grab the data crystal and leave the cabin. There's now a bridge of silica and corpses going back to land.
Morbid, but effective, shall we?
Yes. Oh wait. Um. Can I take one of the corpse's heads?
They're organic, so it's going to be squishy and messy.
Oh.
I want it.
Okay. You have an organic head.
All right, it's in my pocket. Let's go.
How big are your
You got
pockets?
big pockets, dude.
yeah.
I mean, big
There's a
jeans,
reason
big
they call
pockets.
me- there's a
You
reason
know what they
they
say
call me
about big jeans?
big pockets. Look,
Um,
I didn't get that name from nowhere. Let's get out of here.
It's a female head with a long streak of brunette hair that just kind of flops out of the edge of the pocket.
I'll use that for a wig later.
I implore you to leave that behind, please.
It's already in my pocket.
We don't need to be drawing
Fine.
unnecessary attention right now.
Fine. I take my blade out and I just take a very small lock of the hair. And I put that in my pocket and I leave the rest of the head and we leave.
You hear the sound of the head gently tumbling down the bridge of corpse and
Oh,
silica
God.
as it kind of squelches to a stop at the bottom. And that figure you saw earlier, in the trench coat from a distance, he briefly spoke. He looks to you and he says, "Are you sure about what you've done today?"
Is that directed towards anybody in particular?
Just said aloud.
Okay, this isn't about the head.
No. Just,
Okay.
are you sure about what you've done today?
I say no.
Good. Only fools are sure. And he just kind of fades into a pile of ones and zeros. And a little bit of, like, luminescent color is left behind. And you feel that strange, hair-raising fear sensation in your mechanical bodies as the monitor level rises again.
Oh no.
I believe that's our cue. We should make haste. And I'll turn and start walking across the bridge, so to speak.
The card you have buzzes. The card that gave you access to the pod initially.
I pull it out and I look at it.
It says FDM overlap incoming T-minus 40 minutes.
Allow me to rectify my previous statement. Run.
Okay, I run.
And it has a big white button on it that says summon return pod.
Press.
Okay. So as you press it, you hear a whistle. Is anyone standing immediately to the left of CM?
Immediately to the left of what?
CM. Okay.
No, I'm behind.
Yeah, I thought I was just
Immediately to the left, that pod just plunges into the bridge.
Okay.
And it kind of rolls its casing around to pop open the door. And it just goes, ding!
I believe our ride has arrived.
Okay.
Shall we? And I'll climb inside the pod.
As you get inside, you see you are presented with 6 options. Would you like to return to Habitat, Garden, Facility, Terminal, Monolith, or Decay?
What was the zone we came from?
It was a Habitat zone, which you'll note is it's a special zone though, because you'll notice there's a 7th button that just has a picture of Ivan's face on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can we press that one? Oh, unless we want to go get some stuff before. Do we have what we need to take him out?
You have your weapons, but you could choose to find yourself the Habitat to make some sales purchases, because you do all walk away with a bit of salvage. Each of you give me 2d6.
6 and 2 for a total of 8.
4 and 3.
Okay, so you, Cade, scored a relic of the artifact of the architects. It is a small puzzle box. It just kind of kicked up when the pod fell down. And you know that the right person will spend a pretty penny on it. You also get some organics, which are expirable flesh compounds you can sell on the market. With your 4 and 3, you received a whole lot of machine scrap. Like, recently you've just kind of picked up, because you've all been salvaging as you go. It's just how this kind of works.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a bag full of just like raw salvage to sell. And Silver with a 3-3, you've walked away with a decent amount of mechanical salvage as well.
What button will we be pressing? Our mission imperative requires us to return to Ivan, lest anybody has any counterpoints.
I just think maybe it could be good that we stock up on stuff to help us do the deed of getting rid of Ivan. Unless you feel like we could do it now as is.
Ivan is a feeble old man with few robots surrounding him. I have no doubt that he would die swiftly. However, I will defer to your judgment.
But it hasn't gone well recently. Are there any
Well,
krakens nearby we can attack?
while y'all discuss, the pod seems to sense your indecision and puts up a button that just looks like a single 6-sided die.
Well,
I mean, do you want to roll it?
that's up to you guys. I'll let you guys have this one.
What would it do? Let's just roll it.
It's going to pick a number 1 through 6 and then send us to that unit, most likely.
Oh.
So we can either pick it on our own, or we can go back to Ivan, or we can be randomly flung somewhere.
Let's go back to Ivan.
As you press the Ivan button, gentle elevator music begins playing. And the pod travels incredibly slowly on the return trip. As you get back to the Enclave, you've forgotten how fast it moves. Even as it's breaking through, it is still, this entire time, it has not breached through that one layer yet. But you also note you're the only pod returning as well. There are thousands of pods littered outside the Enclave and smashed against the tower walls. As it returns to an airlock and dumps you outside, the same familiar face from earlier, attached to the robotic arm, glares down. And what are you doing back from the tower?
Delivery for Ivan Foxwell.
its eyes light up and it just retracts to the ceiling.
Bye.
So,
We put
How-
forward, I'd imagine.
how do you want to do this?
Sorry?
Ah,
How do you want to do that? How do you want to handle Ivan?
Ah,
I
I see.
mean, I think we should send CM straight in there, and we'll just wait outside.
Have you mounted the data crystal so you can like have them spectate yet?
No, but I will.
Okay.
I'll sort of use my wrist interface and sort of mount it in the arm hardware, so
They-
where it's obscured underneath like a sleeve.
You hear them collectively just chattering. This is the first time they've gotten to talk in millennia.
In my own head, I'll just speak to them. I respect your long form silence. I implore you to offer me some.
They kind of shush down, but it's like that stadium quiet, like in a football.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first bit of entertainment they've had in who knows how long.
Can everyone hear them or just
No.
CM?
Just see
It's
him.
just I'm going crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
just
got it.
And
He just got 1,000,001 friends.
as you kind of step out into the concourse, a child walks over. An upper half human child, bottom half electric unicycle.
Oh, let's go.
Mhm.
That arm shiny. Where'd you get it?
Me?
Yeah.
Kid, you wouldn't believe.
Try me.
You ever try to take a Kraken's eyeball out?
I mean, I took a 0 out of my own binary and everything fine.
Uh, the kid makes me laugh. Can I give him one of the fingers off the hand?
Yes, you detach. Which finger do you give him?
The middle.
I worked hard on that repair.
You can use your hand just fine with 4 fingers.
You notice it's got a spare middle finger baked in.
Ow! It's probably gonna work even better now.
He takes it and he just immediately turns around and shows it to his mother, who just gives you evil eyes. Because you technically just remotely flipped her off.
Sorry. Oops.
Okay, so now I will kind of hand the story to y'all onto how you would like to handle Ivan.
Well, I think we probably need to take out all his helper robots first, right?
We have the cell stabilization matrix, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We have our job. We have the required components to complete the job. I elect that we finish the job as planned before we take care of business thereafter.
Do you mean let Ivan heal up?
I mean, let Ivan pay us, and while he's celebrating, finish the job.
Oh. Can't we just take the money after he's dead?
If you would like to fight through the fortress as opposed to having a free reign to walk in, yes.
I can't complain.
But it's
I mean,
up to you.
I can't argue with that. Okay, let's do it.
Katang.
I think it'd be easier just to. Well, I really want my mixer.
We'll get your mixer.
You make your way to Ivan's residence, and the robot lets you in. And after it lets you in, it falls to the floor inert.
F1.
It just kind of tilts to the side.
What do we see around us? Nurse bots, any Ivan?
All the robots are fallen to somewhat disrepair in the time you've been gone. Ivan is shakily standing in the corner with a pistol drawn. And you can see bullet holes in all of his robots. They're out to get me. Oh no. Should never trust these darn machines.
Might I remind you, you're doing business with many of them currently.
Not happy about it.
The feeling is feeling is mutual.
What do you know of feeling?
I've learned a thing or two. But regardless, we finished our job.
You have the cell stabilization doohickey.
Yes.
Give it.
Which one of us would have it on us?
I love the thought of Katang just carrying it in the trash can. Yeah.
can, exactly.
Yeah, medical
exactly.
device in a trash can.
Just put in there. I'll just wheel over.
I will follow very, very closely behind.
I'll follow pretty far behind.
CM, as you're like approaching, you hear the like stadium voice build up just a little bit inside as they're getting excited for the kill.
What is the status of his like medical accoutrement? Like, is he like plugged into anything, IV drip, anything like
He's
that going on?
kind of broken himself away from all that angst and
Okay.
scared. So like he is just freestanding with a cane and a pistol.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll I sort of just look towards Jeans pretty unassumingly, as if I'm looking for like approval.
And I
As
nod my head.
Ivan reaches in and kind of plucks out the cell stabilization matrix, he goes, I am gonna live forever.
As he sort of reaches in to grab it,
Yeah.
like as he's pulling it out, I'll grab his wrist. I'm not gonna do any. I'm not like trying to hurt him or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid there's the manner of payment before
He
delivery.
is so fragile. You hear a bone break.
Decide quickly. Your bones don't have much time.
The keys are in the drawer over there.
Which one?
5th drawer from the left, 2 from the bottom.
Jeans.
I go to the drawer and open it up.
You find the 3 fractalized manufacturing keys.
I put them in my pocket. I tie them all together with a lock of hair.
You also find, in the same drawer, the data pad with some questions about the architects or answers about the architects when run through a terminal.
Okay.
So,
And Katang, you see sticking out from under his bed your mixer.
Yes. I'm gonna grab my mixer and then I'm gonna say, Mr. Ivan, sir.
Yes, Katang.
Well, first, thank you for the mixer. It's a wonderful treasure. Um, it's it's less than what I would expect. Um, as I am a trash can, I kind of just get dumped with people's problems and junks and unwanted things. So thank you for giving me something I wanted.
Well, of course, Katang. Kind of dog pats you on top of the head.
I would like to make mention I am still like very firmly grabbing his wrist.
Yeah.
Okay, he attempts to and like looks to you for permission.
He's got another hand.
Yeah.
He gently tosses the pistol down onto the bed and then pats Katang on the head.
Ooh, I go ahead and pick that pistol up.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
got a single
basically-
bullet in it.
Yeah, I'm trying to like distract him through talking. Mr. Ivan, sir.
Yes, Katang.
I know you're still feeling a little I was wondering if you can answer some of my questions about the things I've collected.
Okay, what question? What things?
Gonna pull out. This is a toaster. Correct?
Ah, yes, the weapon of the mighty bread warriors.
I use it less as a weapon, but more as a personal comfort, especially at night to cuddle. Put that down.
They grab it by the end and they swing it overhead, and the sourdough wars.
Have you spent much time at war, Ivan?
I try to be a man of peace, but one cannot be a man of peace without occasionally going to war.
Who was your last enemy?
There was an architect. Thought I'd been here too long. Thought my unmodified self needed an upgrade. Wanted to dangle me out the back and slow down and let the FDM catch up. Exile me to some part of the tower. And I defended myself. The process gaining some connection to the FDM. If you oppose the architect, the FDM welcomes. If you welcome the architect, and the FDM seeks to reformat.
Why did you kill Frankie's mother?
She was in the way. She knew too much. Wanted to tell the Architect Council. Wanted to tell the Navigators they were going to stop the Enclave. The Enclave stops, we all die. It was a hard choice, but I made it.
How are you the only one responsible for the Enclave surviving? Why is that your duty?
Because I don't want to die.
Mr. Ivan?
He kicks you, Katang.
Jeans.
I take the gun and I make eye contact with everyone and make sure it's okay for me to shoot him.
I nod.
Okay, I shoot
Wait.
him.
Oh, I was gonna.
No, wait, I don't shoot him yet. I wait for
Okay.
Katang's
Wait, I just
response.
wanted. Katang was gonna ask Mr. Ivan, if you care so much about being human, don't humans die? Isn't that just part of your nature?
Maybe for the rest of them, but not for me. I will be here when the stars go cold.
I cut him off and I shoot him.
Okay. Roll 1d20 plus fragment homunculus.
Okay.
Can I get a zesty one-liner in before this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Go ahead and roll.
Hold on, I gotta roll 1d20. You said plus what?
Plus fragment homunculus.
That'll be a 1.
Oh, I thought you rolled a one. I was like, oh god, no.
Oh no!
Now, as you go to fire, you notice the man with the CRT TV head appears, and time freezes. He just grabs the bullet and scoots it in line with the forehead of Ivan and then disappears again.
Excellent.
And time slowly starts up, so you do have time for your one-liner.
I'll just sort of look at him, and as the bullet's traveling, humans die. You are a human, not a god. And I'll just sort of break his wrist to take the device back as the bullet travels through.
He falls to the floor, and the last human of the Enclave is no more.
I hit a button on my wristwatch that plays John Cena's theme that goes. That's it.
You now have access to his apartment and his possessions.
I'd imagine at this point I'm probably hitting the floor, grabbing my head.
Yeah, they are
Thanks to
cheering.
the spectators.
Yeah.
Like full
Like they just won the Super
World-
Bowl.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
up winning, like you hear the goal.
Like if there's a card to flip in your head, they're figuring out how to do it right now.
Right.
Oh, it's like a city right after the Super Bowl where it's like been like burnt, things are burned down and looted because people got too excited.
Yes, humans are excited, therefore we burn things. That's a great commentary on us as a people.
I mean, that's pretty accurate, though.
I know. It's a sad part.
I'm going straight for that mixer.
I sort of drop the cell matrix onto the bed and start clutching at my head because of the spectator noise while they do that.
Oh, um,
I start rummaging around in all the other drawers.
You find the mixer, Katang, and you have a static power field that kind of emanates from you. So when you pick it up, it goes.
That's fantastic.
Also seeing CM kind of not doing too hot, I'm gonna give him my emotional toaster and wrap him in my blanket.
Oh.
They go for a good 6 hours. Like, they've got a lot to celebrate.
Eventually, I sort of, thanks largely in part to the emotional support of the toaster, come enough to my senses to speak to them internally. If you don't stop, the upload cannot happen.
Oh. Okay. But could you get us some beer?
One step at a time, please. And 0920 sort of gets up after exhibiting what looked to be like the first inkling of like pain almost,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of begins looking around for anywhere to upload the like the data crystal
You know
inside of.
you'll have to go to a terminal section of the
Okay.
Enclave. But what you do notice is you kind of get up, which also, as an aside, emotional support toaster might become a merch item at this point. You notice that many of his human things kind of faded out with him. Things from his past. It's like his ability to go on kept them here.
Like physical items, you
Yeah,
mean?
physical items are just crumbling to dust. Like the gun, it's now a pile of rust. The
What
mixer's
about the,
okay.
Mixer's okay.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Well, what about the like the robots? Like his robotic
They're
helpers.
dead. He shot them. That's
Okay,
why
I
it was
just didn't know
down
if
to
they were
one bullet.
also rusting or anything.
No, but like his television, he had a tube style TV. The knobs on
Yeah.
it have fallen off and the wood is being eaten by worms.
And looking around towards like the party and the now decrepit structure, I believe our job here is done. We should finish the data crystal upload and finish what we started.
Okay. I agree.
Okay, so in order to navigate there, roll me a d6.
All of us?
Whoever wants to lead y'all.
Who wants to lead?
Your pick.
I'll do it. I
You'll-
feel like I'm due for a good roll.
I mean, I feel like I'm on a trend here, so you probably
Yeah,
should do it.
Did you say a D20 or D6?
No, d6.
Okay, come on. Ooh,
Okay, a
smack
3.
in the middle.
You reach a random unit.
Hmm.
Not where you were headed, but not far off. You do find yourself in a facility unit. The facility, this factory, lab, or foundry unit, is filled with ancient but active machines and fabricators. While in a facility unit, you can attempt to create exotic or custom gear appropriate to the unit by feeding the fabricator salvage or equipment. So
Are
you
we
all have
able-
some scrap and stuff.
Is this a location where we could use the forge keys?
You could, to guarantee a result of exactly what you want. But now that you have found it, you can find your way back here perfectly.
Okay.
So if you'd like to do that now or later, that is up to you.
I mean, we're here. We may as well. There's 3 keys. There's 3 of us.
I was just thinking practically in matters of time as well.
True. Would you like us to carry on?
Yeah, I think let's try to move towards the end, and because
Sure.
this game I think needs to be done as a round 2 at some point with some more players, because this is fun.
Yeah, I've enjoyed this. It's been great.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
for
They may mess
brevity's
some
sake,
stuff
then.
up,
Yeah.
but
You do find yourselves quickly to the terminal. I've got a eschew the rules for a moment. I apologize to those watching. But you do find yourselves to the terminal. And when you get to the terminal, you do restore all hit points.
Took you long
Yay!
enough, Jeans.
Does my arm still have to be a robot arm? It's fine.
It will eventually restore if you stay here long enough. But
What kind
there is a slot for the data crystal.
yeah, it adds character. I'll keep it.
I'm glad my work is satisfactory enough to
Yeah,
keep.
I was gonna say, it's a gift from a friend.
Yeah.
It'd be rude to get rid of it.
If you want to make it a bit more colorful, because Katang does have a bit of spray paint on them, he's gonna go inside, grab a few cans of spray paint. What color do you like? Do you want the pink or the blue?
Let's go ahead and do the pink.
Okay, just start spray painting your arm.
Excellent, excellent.
Careful not to get it in the moving parts. Because there were like cogs and gears on it, if I recall.
Yeah, very mechanical arm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the meanwhile, I'll be sorting out the terminal upload and whatnot while they're
Okay.
spray painting.
So you find a terminal with a little round port.
I retrieve the data crystal from my arm, and before I break the connection, I'd like to sort of call out verbally, like audibly, but for the people that are spectating. Charlie, are you in there?
Yes. He comes up to the and he manifests himself strong enough you can visually see him.
Like see him in like the physical plane?
Yeah, like you see him in front of you, no one else can see him.
Okay.
He's like hacking your optics essentially.
Are you happy with what we've done?
Very.
Should I be?
I'm not your conscience, CM. That is a decision you're gonna have to make yourself.
I'm afraid I might not have one of those.
Hey, download one.
Fair. And before I give him time to like finish the sentence or anything, I'll sever the connection and plug it into the terminal.
As you plug it in, it says massive data detected. Upload Y in.
I'll look back towards the party.
Why?
Katang?
Just Katang, just here, just
Press yes then.
yes.
Sorry, I did not hear that coming through the mic. My bad.
As you hear it, as you upload it, just a stream of bright white light emanates through the terminal. You all now have a map of the area of the enclave you are in, so you will always be able to return to this terminal, long as until you go back to the tower and come back. You'll go to this terminal, the facility you came from, and the habitat zone in which Ivan used to live. So you will always have access to those.
Heard. Like without rolls and everything?
Yeah, without rolls until you go back to the tower. Because the
Fancy.
enclave reshuffles.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool.
But
Well,
at that point,
we did a good thing here.
while the light fades, the curtains shall also fade. And that brings us to the end of Reformat, Recompile, Repeat, as I have named this little session.
Yay!
that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I will have this uploaded soon. Stay safe and take care, y'all.